crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, ear to ear. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over. They unleash the lawyer, set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need to close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people. The country taking a beating. So me plea are repeating. Go. They're like a natural disaster. Now. 10 times worse than Ebola. Like a dog with fleas and tongue on their knees. And I'm begging, go now. And I did warn we. Prophesy to the country. Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing. Go now. This is my humble petition. Announce the date for election. Go now, please. Accidental, detrimental, could be lethal. Are you willing to take that chance? Much too seedy, they too greedy, eyes too beady. Honeymoon end before the romance. We expect corruption, but now without check or interruption. That a few might stuff the pocket, but not racket by the pocket. From the constant comments, we get no recess. Before things fall apart and the riot starts. Even in chutney, I'll tell them go. Make it sooner than later. To protect the future, please. For the sake of we children and the next generation. Go. To safeguard our image. Before Griffith cause more damage. Like a dog with fleas and tongue on the knees. And I'm begging, go now. They try to stick me with rage me. Go now. They have more trick than Houdini. Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing. Go now. Please, Mrs. Kamla. Go now. Take Munila and Sharma. Go now. Please. Them minions, total villains, raking millions. Their slogan, we shall rise, it was so true. Tell John Public not to panic while them and they sidekick. Swimming in a pool of dollars so blue. Like meat-eating vulture, they neglect agriculture. Mega fans of phony, Mama Guy Caroni. Sweet man Glenn and Sharma came face to face with the karma. And it was awful, gone through it to pull. Don't need a big mouth to tell them go. Watch her and see they just follow now. Before we regret tomorrow, please. You're setting a bad example. Family values they trample. Go. It's only vice they desire now. Before the 5 years expire. Like a dog with fleas and tongue on the knees. And a bleeding go now. Before we end in bankruptcy. Before they empty the treasury. Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm bleeding go now. Immediately. And don't forget your AG go now. Please. Love to quarrel, always oral, highly immoral. They let the good doctor starve to death. Used to court him, once support him, no road to point for him. But once in power, they quickly forget. They love confrontation, so no mediation. The case by the Privy Council, fortune, filling up a lagoon. The environment is boost out its people too. Is why I want them go. With them old lies they peddling now. It's only PR they selling. They wouldn't tell me the whole truth. The man just wanted a root. Before they carve out a mountain, before the cost we start counting like a dog with fleas, a dog on their knees. And I beg it, go now. Always get the contract. Who profit from the kickback? Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing. Go now. Tell Munila and Surush. It's best they seek refuge. Go now, please.
Step inside. Immerse.
From the north, covering south, east, and west. This is Real FM.
You tell me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent commentary, yeah.
Devon, bless all the listeners out there. Thanks for the rain. Thank God for the rain, Devon.
Yes, that's that's the best.
Listeners, the rain, we thank God for the rain, but the rain had hampered us from starting on time. So, Independent Talk for Sunday, 19th May 2024. Now, Independent Talk has become like a lighthouse, Devon. In this dark period Grenada is going through.
Yeah.
And a lighthouse is simply this. At night, you cannot check how much boat or ships that the lighthouse navigate. But you know, once you take out the lighthouse, you got a problem for them. So, this program has become a lighthouse. Now, I have a moral obligation to speak the truth. And facts and provide the receipts. I'm not here to praise or flatter anybody. I deal with facts. And I say let the chips fall where they may. Grenada is my constituency. Real FM is my parliament. I'm the people's spokesman today alongside Devon and Igwe, blessed and protected by the Ancient of Days. The purpose says simply this. The rain will give the heat, you know. Yeah. The purpose is simply to bring you the facts. Facts check us. Because we know facts has only one side. What you do with the facts is a matter entirely for you. We're here as an advocate for truth and justice, even when it don't affect us personally. Because we recognize justice, the day is justice denied. We're here to advocate for those who cannot do it for themselves, like the shortings, the indigent, the poor, the marginalized, and the vulnerable. We're here to bring comfort to those who are hurting by the performance of this present government, Igwe. We'll comfort you with facts and information. Real FM, real media, no media. Where shame is absent, anything could happen. We demand more from this government, Devon. They need to raise their game. They need to deliver on the people's expectation because they promise much. So Devon, in today's discussion, we hope to touch on the Samoa Agreement, the CBI, or the promise of permanent work, the problem with the nurses and the honorarium, if they have to pay penalties in tax, the present crime situation and the police response, how the police plan to deal with organized crime. So we go try to delve into those issues, Devon. Now, one might say, why the Samoa Agreement? Why CBI? Why the promise of permanent work for contract workers? Because the government is hoping that we forget. They're hoping that we forget, Devon. But we here will continue to remind the people of those things, Devon. The Samoa Agreement, Devon. When the signing of the Samoa Agreement was done, we had all kind of reports. The Prime Minister said he didn't read it yet. The Minister of Mr. Joseph Andal said nobody gonna deal with the sovereignty. And they gave the impression that it was not be signed. Lo and behold, when we calculate time, even before they went in that press conference, the agreement was signed. So, but yet still, they want to tell us who authorized the signing. They yet still to tell us how it will affect us in terms of our morality, because a lot of song and dance was talked about morality. They yet to tell the Grenadian people what is the benefits of the agreement. So these are some questions what is left unanswered, Devon. And we continue to ask, what is the present state? Who? Because an argument of that magnitude, who authorized the signing of the Samoa Agreement? And that's something we would not rest on, Devon, until we get an answer. What's your take, Devon?
Well, blessed afternoon to everyone. I hope everyone is okay wherever you are, and welcome to Independent Talk. The Samoa Agreement, well, it's a mystery in terms of information. As you rightly said, an agreement like that cannot be signed and will not be signed by any and anybody. It takes, in particular, the leader of a country, a prime minister, a president, whatever, right, to authorize something like that. Okay, a decision like that to be made, have to be made from the top. Having said that, we have been puzzled and baffled by how this thing unfold in case of Grenada, right? When we have the Prime Minister and the Foreign Affairs Minister in a press conference telling us about their personal view or the government view, right, of that agreement, and went as far as the Foreign Minister went as far as to say that he would not basically sell out Grenada, right, because of aid and so, that is linked to that particular agreement. Lo and behold, look at what happened. Couple of hours before they sat in that press conference, one of them, and it's most likely the Prime Minister, authorized the signing of that Samoa Agreement. I mean, that's shameless. And then you come in a press conference and sit there watching the Grenadian people and lying for them. I mean, that is so disgraceful by you politicians, and you continue to lie, right, and try to deceive the Grenadian people. But as Master Carl said, we would not rest until these answers are given. Because the effect of that Samoa Agreement is great, right? We're not paying attention to some of the things that is in that agreement that they are not telling us, right? And so the effects, the implication it will have, right, on our social development and that sort of things. We are here ensuring that the Grenadian people get the right information and make the right decisions for themselves. And the Samoa Agreement, it stinks. It stinks. There is nothing there to give the Grenadian people the assurance that our government has signed, an agreement that would benefit them. All right, so we are looking for, we will continue to give the pressure, put the pressure on for answers, right, about this agreement. Based on what we know so far, it could never be a good agreement for us in Grenada, right? Because, I mean, when you look at some of the issues that are out there in Europe, the whole question of gay marriage, the homosexual business, all these things are things that are in the agreement, that where Grenada signs that agreement, we become part and parcel. We cannot deny these people from traveling to Grenada or to doing certain things in Grenada because of that particular agreement.
And one of the things about the agreement, anything they could do in the country,
They could do it here.
because they signed the agreement, they could do it here.
Yeah.
So if they want to be unduly familiar in the public,
What else go
they could do it.
They could do
on?
it.
But you voting for NNP or NDC or whatever it is. When they go into a rally, go and listen to exactly what they are saying. See if it makes sense. Get a pen and piece of paper, write it down. And when they go in office, hold them against it. A man just can't just come and just promise you XYZ and when he come, he ain't doing it. Hold them against it. And if we start demanding more other people, they wouldn't have a choice but to raise their level. But if these parties see that we just anything goes for us, they will continue giving us mediocre.
And somebody to send Andy Williams' phone number for me.
Yes.
Let us send him that on WhatsApp.
Well, most likely he might be listening. No. Honorable Williams, if you're listening, give us a call.
He must call us.
Yeah, give us a call.
Devon,
Just a call.
who is the chairman of the National Lottery Authority?
Okay, the chairman of the board of directors. Based on the information I had up to last year or early this year, is a gentleman by the name of William Baptiste.
Okay.
He runs a business by Catwills. That's the name of the business.
So Mr. William Baptiste, or Baptiste,
Baptiste,
whatever,
yeah.
is it true that the NLA had to borrow $18 million from a commercial institution in this country? Because the NLA collecting
Lotto, bro.
a lot of money.
Money.
I don't know, asking. So, why is man name again?
William Baptiste.
So, Mr. William Baptiste, I don't know. The people who play Lotto, they want to know if the NLA had to borrow $18 million from any commercial institution.
Wow. So we can ask two persons that question.
Tell me who next works, because we want to.
The deputy chairman,
Who is them?
Sylvester Qualis.
Oh, Qualo.
Yeah, who happens to be the chairman of Gravel and Concrete Board.
Qualo.
Right? These two
Not that
gentlemen.
Qualo is not some ambassador.
Well, the name flunking away about ambassador, but he's still chairman of Gravel and Concrete and deputy chairman of Lotto Board. Both of them.
Qualo.
You know, so we need some answers.
And Mr. Baptiste, we want to know. We don't saying is yes, we don't saying is no. But we want to know, because Andy Williams say check it. So Devon, I want to know what you know about that $18 million. You look perplexed when I see that.
Because the guys that control these boards are from my constituency. You understand? Southwest St. Andrews.
Know them good.
So yes, I know them very good. And the present representative also know them good. So there's a lot of questions to be asked. And so we need to know that 18 million. So Grenadians can wake up one day, play in the lotto, and when they win, they have no money. Wow. Master Carl? The receipt?
And chatters on the street want to know. What happened to, let me get the thing right, the chairman of Grand Lake?
Wow.
Okay.
They say the chairman of Grand Lake.
He's sick.
They say the chairman of Grand Lake. We want to know what is the true status of Mr. Rodney George as it relates to Grand Lake.
Wow. The boards are kicking up. We also would like to know what is the true situation with Mrs. Rolanda McQueen, who supposed to be a board member of the Grenada Development Bank. Based on information that we are hearing, that she's out. We do not know the truth. We are only hearing. So we want you to tell us, Mr. Prime Minister, right? And so, or better yet, the chairman of the board, right? Guyana Development Bank, let us know what is the status of Mr. McQueen, who happens to be the person who runs the water company. Wow. Things happening, Master Carl.
No, but as you say that, I must explain a particular word. A bribe is when someone acts in one's favor, typically, illegally, or dishonestly, by a gift of money or other inducement. So you talk about Rolanda McQueen and we remember the RAV4.
Remember the RAV4.
I remember 10,000 and 6,000 and that. So, I don't know why, sometimes my grandmother said when friends bring you, go there, man. They don't bring you back.
That's a true saying.
So is it a case they bring Miss McQueen go and they don't bring her back?
Yeah, because I saw her in an interview basically crying out to the government to help the water companies. And so in their stress.
What it does put on the road? Asphalt?
Yeah.
What is the asphalt?
It's the asphalt.
Road fault.
The asphalt.
Yeah. The road wet now, so it's the asphalt.
Because around election time, when Dick and Mitchell face was on that same water company battle, it was all hunky-dory.
Yes, it was the best water in town.
But I just took a stroll Igwe because I knew all that big Borat and them couldn't live in one hole. So Borat had to find place now. So this thing is happening. So they were not I want to ask with Grand Lake because Grand Lake is we business.
Yeah.
Is we company.
And we just get it back, so we can afford.
And if the number 3 engine go down, we call a logo Corey. So we want to know if Mr. George, Rodney George, was an agent for Watsila engines.
Okay, that's
The people want to know
the turbines.
if Grenlec had to buy any new engines. The people want to know if he is an agent, we don't know, or could be an agent, we don't know, or would be agent, we don't know. But we want to know if the sales of the engine went through, if any commission would have been paid. We want to know how the board, the Grenlec board members feel about that. Because I tell you, Devon, we come here for the people with the lighthouse.
Yeah.
And the people expect us to ask those questions.
Yeah. And he will be remiss of us. He will be, I mean.
So they have to tell us about NLA.
Yes.
And they have to tell us about Grenlec. But Devon, they have to tell us about the financial position of SMC.
Now, we diving into some rough waters. SMC. We need to know the financial situation. We need to know a lot more about SMC. Right?
The
New
next
York
question is, Devon,
connection.
is it true? Or is it a fact? Or is there any information suggesting that the financial director has been forced to retire after 31 years from his employment? I don't know. The people want to know. Then the person want to know, if that is so, why? Because they like to talk accountability and money. So what is the account of the SMC? The financial director, we want to know what is the situation. We used to work for 31 years. We don't know, we're asking. And we're asking if true, why? the audit department already have work to do with the SMC.
A lot of work to the SMC.
Is it true that the SMC finance is in Tata? Is it true that board members have been paid large sums of monies, Devon? Is it true? We don't know. Large sums of monies for work done. Is it true that the SMC is paying for travel and board for family members? The chatters want to know. So they want to know when board members going away.
Family.
If the SMC paying for the family and the friends and the colleagues, the SMC money.
Mr. Noel, you have some questions to answer? Cecil Noel is the chairman, I think? Yeah. I'm wondering what relations he
The
has.
people want to know that the audit and the financial director, if they go in New York for the launch of Carnival with the chairperson,
We could have Janice that, you know. You know, that is, I mean,
so we want to know what is the status of the final director.
so much of unanswered questions as it relates to the different organizations run by this government.
And we want to know if the audit, the financial position, the financial director, if he at any time travel with the Prime Minister to Dubai. We don't know. There's some questions the public want to know. Because we want accountability, because the NDC want accountability.
Transparency.
And they say hold them to it. Gates, and you know that clip where he talking about them to you know and then. He talk about the one hold them to it and he talk about thing. But we will deal with that one. So yeah, give me when you get it, man. So Devon, we have some questions they must answer.
And this is why I'm making the line. That if you speak, you get victimized. And this is wrong. Because we should be able to speak. I can tell you I'm not a yes man. Right? We should be able to speak. If NDC is in power right now, we should be able to say exactly what we don't like that is going on in government. If an NMP, vice versa, same thing. Right? There's a fear going on right now that if you talk, you're going to get victimized. And that has to stop. We have to stop that. Whoever is doing it, we have to expose them. And I tell you, if anybody come for me, you come for me.
So we're doing just that there when we're exposing them.
Yes,
because Andy asked us to do that.
They asked us to. They
Play it
Prime
again,
Minister,
Gates.
yeah.
Hear what Andy asked us
Right
to
now.
do.
And this is why I'm making the line. That if you speak, you get victimized. And this is wrong. Because we should be able to speak. I can tell you I'm not a yes man. Right? We should be able to speak. If NDC is in power right now, we should be able to say exactly what we don't like that is going on in government. If an NMP, vice versa, same thing. Right? There's a fear going on right now that if you talk, you're going to get victimized.
Yes, Devon.
And that has to stop. We have to stop that. Whoever is doing it, we have to expose them. And I tell you, if anybody come for me, you come for me.
We will hold you to that, Minister, acting Prime Minister. All right?
So, Mr. Andy Williams, you say we could speak. We shouldn't afraid. So, NLA, and we want to know if NLA had to borrow the sum of $18 million from any commercial institution.
You know, we could ask Lako that, you know.
Eh?
Well, Lako is not the Minister of Youth and Sport.
Oh! Why you first name again? Jonathan.
Jonathan. Yes, and Lotto falls squarely under that ministry.
So, Jonathan, I guess you come out to church already.
Yes. He sit down having his breakfast, lunch.
Jonathan, has the NLA or did the NLA or How to ask it again, Devon? Tell me.
We know how to ask, but we go ask it direct like
Ask
this.
them a question, Devon. They might listen you.
How much money and who did the NLA borrow money from? How much? We want to know.
And what is the purpose of borrowing those
And the
monies?
reasons for borrowing those monies. Because every day, thousands of Grenadians play lotto. And they expect when they win, they want to get money. So we cannot afford to have an organization running and they have to be borrowing money to pay people. Right? Because I know YT running a better bingo than that, a better thing than that. YT doesn't borrow money to pay when you're winning bingo. So NLA, we want to know, what is the status of your finances? And is it true that you did borrow $18 million from a particular commercial bank?
A commercial institution.
Yes, a commercial institution.
Devon, the next thing is Grenlek again. Yeah?
Oh my God.
The people ask, who does Grenlek fall under? Deacon Mitchell?
Ministry of Works, yes.
So Mr. Deacon Mitchell,
Yes.
the greatest of them all, the big fish. The
one,
Hefe.
one that can go wrong.
Is there any truth? Because there's information suggesting it is alleged, Devon, that 500,000 is misplaced. You know, a pimp called Slickback. he say, I may have misplaced some merchandise. So they want to know if Grenlek has misplaced $500,000.
Wow.
That's a lot.
No, that is a serious thing to contemplate.
And they want to know if that had anything to do with Mr. Rodney's departure. I ain't saying that, I'm asking.
We need some answers.
So, Mr. Deacon, we want to know if anything about the engines with Grenlek and the company and commission. And we want to know if $500,000, we don't know.
Yeah, we need to know.
If $500,000 may have been misplaced.
Master Carl.
If the merchandise has been misplaced.
Master Carl, very interesting when it comes to Grenlek and that these accusations. And so, my whole thing about it is that I think that they are laying the foundation
To offload.
to offload Grenlek. They are laying the foundation to offload Grenlek to some private entities.
Just like what they want to do GDB.
Just like how they want to do GDB. They rape it, take all the monies allocated for farmers and small businesses and take it for their personal use. You understand? Look, Grenlek is about to go on the chopping block. Right? The Prime Minister had made it clear in the beginning. So when you hear these sort of accusations about money missing, an engine to procure and all these sort of things like
Swinging
that,
engine.
you understand? Something is about to go down with Grenlek that the Grenadian people would be dissatisfied about. It happened in 1994. Somewhere about 1993, 1994, when the same NDC government was in office. They created all sorts of problems, from load shedding to all sorts of things, prepare Grenlek for sale. And you see what happened? They sold it for little and nothing. And we had to fight years after to get it back and pay hundreds of millions of dollars for it.
So Gates, you must watch the Boondocks.
Good afternoon and welcome. Your first caller this afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How do you do?
You're speaking low.
Just lift your voice a little bit, darling.
Rory,
Yes, my dear, I can hear you
how
now.
do you do, sir?
Good afternoon.
I asked for you. I said, I don't hear you. I say you after they expel you from the work.
You like that word expel, eh?
No. There were a number of issues I had to deal with, so I'm here. I'm not running away from a fight.
No.
I check.
Yeah, guess I'm laughing.
I'm not sure too.
I did. Nobody can get rid of me yet.
Here you are. Here. I said they expel you, know. Because when they expel some of them now, they try to just come back and hunt Dr. Mitchell. So that's why I asked you if they expel you.
So how you doing?
I did it. Roman, I want you to do something for me. I want you to get my number and then to call me. I want you to do a spraying on my house.
All right, so I'll secure your number right after the program and I'll call you.
All right.
Okay?
All right, sir.
Okay, my dear.
Everybody good the gate.
Hey,
How when are we do there?
I listening you?
All right, well, are they?
All right.
If I find something go wrong, go contrary to the program, I will call.
Yeah, Carl, only one thing's going wrong.
Right.
Right.
Later.
All right, take care.
I'm very free. And she called it all up in the match.
Yes. Grenlek, what an, I mean, and it took what, just under 2 years for the whole issue of Grenlek to surface its head again, right? It is the same issue that went on in the 90s when NDC was in office before the sale of Grenlek and the banks. And you see the parallel with that, eh?
The cell bank too?
Yes. When NDC was in office, they got rid of one of the. It is one of the. It is not NCB or the other bank, right? They sold both Grenlek and the banks. Same NDC. They get rid of the asset that belongs to the people, right? And sold it for little and nothing. When we got those two banks during the revolution, based on my information and knowledge, the government at the time, the revolution, paid $1 for each of these banks,
$1.
$1, a receipt, right? Based on my information, based on what the bank over the years was owing the government in terms of taxes and whatever, right? He had the then finance minister, Bernard Code, came up with a formula and they could not refuse, right? Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce and another one. And so the said NDC organization comes right back in and is about to get rid of Grenada Development Bank, a bank for the people, the workers and the business people and the farmers, and for Grenelec, as they did in the 90s. Grenadians, we need to pay attention. As Mr. Pay always say, these group of politicians are nothing else than a group of vultures. They only cater for themselves. They are raiding the development bank in millions. And we taking this thing, not seriously. How can you have a group of politicians, right, going into a financial institution run by the government of this country and giving themselves millions of dollars to buy houses and to secure their business? That's unconscionable. And we as a people sit here and just let it be brushed aside. This is unacceptable and we will pay the consequences later on. Right? When you have this group of guys just coming there and just fattening themselves and their supporters, right? On the backs of the Grenadian people. These things have to stop. Somewhere we have to put a stop to that. Before the next election, something has to take place. Otherwise, Grenada is in serious trouble. They do not care of the majority of our people. Instead, they continue to rape and take away from us. Unacceptable. Master Carl?
The men just don't care.
They don't.
It's a matter of just not caring. So, these are some questions. So, the SMC, we want to know what is going on. We want to know if the SMC is owing any person. Let me take the call.
I want to put on my Mako knob.
Me too.
Yes.
I haven't paid attention to SMC in a while.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon, Devon, Master Cal, and Igwe.
Yeah.
Devon,
Yes, sir.
anything the people say on you, I accepting it. If you was expel or why spell, I accepting it.
Yes.
I feel when you're going on a holiday or what, you should leave a word with us that I ain't going to see you for the next 2 weeks or the 3 weeks. We ain't go here. So you was expelled. So we leaving that propaganda and you was expelled.
Yes.
Right. So, Devon, what is bothering me is that, you know, when you hear, anytime an administration come into office and they come in a bully manner, moving people, firing people, slamming the doors in people's face, it's a dangerous administration. And you know what always carry along with such administration? That word bubble.
Mm.
They remove eyes.
Mm.
They remove nose.
Mm-hmm.
And they remove mouth. They remove ears. So they have their part clear. Because they believe they have a doctrine of honesty and a doctrine. With their doctrine, they believe they come to dominate and whatever they're going to do is right. Some of these guys, part of their doctrine is come to get rich. Some of these guys' doctrine is come to dominate. Some of them guys' doctrine is they come for restorative justice. And that is a dangerous administration. And anytime you hear people start saying, they're going good, everything nice, and they're going, start to tremble.
Shake, start to shake.
Start to tremble,
Yes.
start to shake. These guys, what is going good and what is going nice is their plan. What they're doing. And we're going to hear more and more corrupt things about these guys. We're going to see more and more corrupt things because these guys feel they have the ultimate authority in this country and they could do what they want. You know, even though NNP had 15 seats, NNP used to behave as a party that they was just watching themselves. NNP was even police, you know.
Yeah.
Just watching itself.
Very careful.
And very careful. I work with NNP and I can tell you that. They were so, like sometimes they were overwatching themselves. But this administration here, they come in telling us that they are children from some divine deity. And they come in here and they whole, but in this guy's DNA, it's nothing more than greed. Look at how they treat the state finances. Look how they travel. They travel without no respect. They just travel. Look how they spend. And they do things. Look at these guys. And I want the Grenadian people to look at them carefully and look at how they behave. They don't, I was surprised when the Attorney General had to talk about, you know, the way pension, if it continued to pay that way, the damage it could do in the future. But in the campaign, she didn't say that.
No.
In the campaign, she was very dishonest in order for them to come into power. They push it like, oh, kids don't want to pay it, and NNP this and NNP this, and everything will be so nice. Now they come and saying about changes. That is a high level of dishonesty. Because they just wanted to get there, they push that kind of mentality. Now they read it, they're telling you the danger of it, and the danger of doing it that way. You know, all the Grenadian people have to do is to continue to watch these people carefully. Look at the guy in Cargo. He come in like a goddess in Cargo. He was proud to call the hatchet man. That's an evil name. He was proud to call the hatchet man. He was proud to make sure that people who does not, you know, who he consider he don't like or is not affiliated with his party, out. He meet a man with a simple contract, he know he could just blow the candle on it, and he just blow it. He doesn't even consider the man's family or the man's status in life. He blows it. These are merciless people, and they come in with a sort of joy, thinking it's not a fake joy, because all they come to do is to get rich. And don't forget that word. And they come to get rich, and not above all, who go down in that plight to get rich. Thank you, Master Cap.
All right, my friend. Oh, no.
SMC.
SMC.
What happened to the receipts, the gates, the ticket sales in 2023? Is there any financial misappropriation? Could Spice Mass account for ticket sales for the carnival shows in 2023? You say we have to ask the Home Ministry?
Mr. Noah. Well, the ministry falls under LACO.
Youth.
Right? Youth.
So Spice Mass fall under youth?
Spice Mass culture. No, culture right now is Adrian
Persuader? Adrian Thomas.
Adrian Thomas.
Okay.
Persuader.
Adrian,
Culture.
Adrian, let me do this thing systematically.
Tourism and culture. That's his thing.
Adrian, they go tell you that. What is the financial position of the SMC, Adrian? Is it true that the financial director of the SMC was asked or forced or coerced, we don't know, to retire from his 31 years job? We don't know. And if so, why, Adrian?
You know, Adrian could squeeze himself out of answering that, eh?
Why?
Because you could remember we just had a cabinet reshuffle not recently.
No, Adrian in charge. If you standing up by the house and you're holding papers, Devon, you have to be prepared to ride the house.
No, yes, I know you're supposed to prepare to ride, but you
Can't
know,
wiggle yourself out.
But you know these guys will try to wiggle themselves. And one of the things that you'll say, he was not the
out of the abundance of caution and taking your words, run.
You have to link them together.
Run. Yes. What happened to the financial director? Run when you go audit or possibly when I go audit the SMC.
Yeah.
Because 2023, you want to know what happened if you could give good account. How Clifford does say good account of yourself.
Of yourself.
The gates, receipts.
Yeah. And the contractors you still owe. Yeah, we know.
So the audit department. And we still want to know if when people go in and represent the SMC, if the SMC paying for the family and things too.
Yeah. A lot of questions had to be asked. Right?
So the audit department. Now, we're not here to smudge anybody, you know, Devon.
And we will never.
We're just asking some questions.
And we need answers.
So the audit department do some work. Because we know it's all of us. Do some work.
And while you're at it, auditors and the chairman, while you're at it, clarify the whole situation with SMC Grenada and SMC New York.
All right, Devon. So let's go. We want to speak a little, Devon, on the Northeast. What do you understand by honorarium, Devon?
I'm not too sure. I've not. I can't give a clear. I don't want to say something that I'm not too sure about. But it has to be
a small fee paid for a service that is usually done for free.
Okay.
So we're hearing now that nurses have been called in to pay personal income tax penalties.
Why?
Some figures that have been calling is 700 and some is 1,300. And the honorarium was 500.
So why are they being...
They say the nurses was not aware that they had to file income tax.
So in other words...
As the 500 honorarium took them over the
threshold.
income tax threshold.
Okay,
See
okay.
the trick?
See. So, for example,
that
as it is presently, the threshold for paying taxiway around 2,500 or 3,000, somewhere around there. So, based on the honorarium that they was given,
The money
it,
cross.
it brought them over to that. And anyone,
Payback.
yes, who is making that sort of money must fall under the tax bracket. All right, so they find themselves in that problem. So you see deceitfulness.
They get tricked.
Was it
Right?
a trick?
Yeah, man.
It was a trick.
Can I
And a
know?
deliberate one too. You know, it was like, oh, all they want more money, all they want this, take it. Take that without telling them what they're getting into. But then sometimes you have to blame, they have to take responsibility, both them and the unions have to take responsibility for this, for where they're at right now. Right? Because my God, if someone is giving you something and you don't understand why, you have a body that represents you, that can give you clarity, that can explain to you that, look, if you accept that, this is what comes with it. So I'm blaming both the nurses and the unions for allowing that to happen to them. They have to take responsibility for falling for that trick. That's a gangster trick that was tried on them by the nurses and doctors.
They are mob trick.
A mob trick. You understand? Giving you in one way and taking it away in the other hand without explaining to you what you're getting into. Deceitfulness. That's the order of the day with these guys.
What is sad?
Very sad.
I'm going to call on the WhatsApp.
Let's take it.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Hey, good evening, Devon. Welcome back.
Good evening.
Devon.
Thanks, my friend. Yes.
Good evening. I will not blame the union. And let me tell you why I wouldn't blame the union. The government went behind the union back and go directly to the nurses. Now, in the government mind, these boys want to mash up, the union. So they go behind the union and they give these people and them the money. No, all what these nurses and them, as I mentioned Friday, they did not have also take that money. They had also consult the union, bring in the union, force the government to bring in the union to that discussion, to that money thing. Because we don't know what we. So once the union is signed up for them, if the union stand up for them, the union would have let them go and ask more questions and then kind of thing like that. But they did not do that. So the nurses were strict. One, and these people, they deceived the nurses too. They went behind the nurses back, and the nurses should not have taken that money. So I will blame the union now. I will not blame the union. Yeah, that is my take on that.
All right, my friend. Respect your opinion and your views. We share differently, but because I think if you have a representative,
The union was bought.
yeah, if you have somebody representing you, they're supposed to be. Anyhow, let's take the next call. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, fellas, how you going today?
Not too bad, man.
Yeah, I just called to confirm what that previous caller said, because actually I wanted to come on and say things, because apparently it is alleged that on one of the platforms, I think Mayday, the union accused this government of what they call union busting and going behind the union's back and negotiating directly with the workers. So that is how this thing comes. So we can't really blame the union. So what the guy is saying is correct. So, we can't say things too quick, because I understand they went. But it's interesting to note that the unions are now accusing this government of union busting. As a matter of fact, the relationship with the trade union and the NNP government was definitely toxic. And this is one of the reasons why the NDC really, really won the election, because NNP handed over to them on a gold plate in terms of the pension, and so it was toxic. But I can't say that the NNP ever engaged in tactics of union busting, which is very serious, because they're claiming that this NDC government is claiming that they love the union so much and they love the workers. But in particular, because I have to talk about it sometime this week, they still continue to give in contract to nurses. And there's under no conditions will I ever accept contract work for a nurse. No, because the nurses are the backbone of the health sector. And they're doing a human service in nursing back the nation to health, because a healthy nation is a wealthy nation, and contract for the nurses. But finally, I just want to zero in on all your business. The NNP has been in office for quite some time. I see they had some press conference, and no doubt that they have done a lot. Keith Mitchell has done a lot for this country. I have no apologies for saying that. And as far as I'm concerned, I think I said that on a radio station. The two people that should be on that $50 bill and all, you're killing me. Not you, they're telling me for dead is Keith Mitchell and Gary, because they have done significantly for this country. So I don't know where Morris Bishop come out. Right. But I'm a little bit disturbed because I find that if they are the alternative, that party is the alternative. And I think it's time they put their house in order, because I find everybody else coming out and saying things, and it's very hurtful. It is embarrassing, and I don't know if you could call it washing dirty linens in public and accusing Keith Mitchell of not having the support of the party after all these years, and alleging that the person who really has the support is Peter David, and he don't want Peter David, and all this thing and back and thing coming out, and everybody coming out, and it ain't looking good so far. And he trying to hang on to a party that don't want him, and he's trying to get votes. So they are the alternative. They did a fantastic job when they was in government, but I think I told you all before that I'm not impressed with the government. I'm not impressed with the NNP's performance as an opposition party. So I think the bottom line is that, and you all got to face it, right? That the party needs to get its acts together, have a convention or whatever the case is, and rally behind a leader. Probably don't want Peter or whoever, Emlyn or whoever you want. It's time to, if you want to go back to Keith Mitchell, I don't have a problem with that, because Keith Mitchell does have a lot to offer still. And because he feels he wants to go back, because when you really look at it, the NNP is really centered around Keith Mitchell. And whereas with the NDC now is the party, but Keith Mitchell, people vote for Keith Mitchell. Keith Mitchell, no doubt, is a very powerful figure. I don't care who vexed about that. So he does have significant support in the country. But they are claiming that in the party, he doesn't have the support. But the bottom line is that whoever it is he chooses, or whoever he wishes to go back, all these things must be done properly, orderly, and time to put the party together and stop this back and forth thing and this one saying that, and everybody keep on coming out. It is hurting the party. It is disgraceful, and washing the dirty linens in public and not going that. But the kind of people that are coming out is senior people that's saying these things, and it was cause for concern. So it's time that the party get itself together and show that, listen to me, I did a good job when I was in government, and when I come back again, I could do a good government. So it's time to stop this nonsense. Finally,
May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
All of the persons you're referring to that made those comments, they've all made a proviso or a caveat before they speak. They say, we are not part of. That is important to know.
What do you mean they're not part of the party?
They say that. I didn't tell them that. Before they say all what they say, all the persons who spoke, they made it clear that they are not part of, or they're not part of the executive, or they are not part of the decision making.
Yeah.
So they venture their opinion.
Right, okay, so...
No, I just telling you, one has to respect others' opinion, but that does not mean they have to argue or it is right all the time. But my experience is, and you say it in a nutshell, good sense will prevail. So move on to the next point.
Because the bottom line is this, it ain't looking good for you all, so whether who talk or who part of
them
it,
say,
it's looking good. So any case, let's go.
They say the same thing about the present administration too, so let's go.
Well, don't talk about them. I already know my position already.
Yes, so make your final point.
From day one. In relation to this 80 million, I was listening to a news on the Caribbean thing, and I think that it is St. Lucia was this $80 million, because the opposition was talking about it, and I think that 80 million, well, yes, to some NLA in St. Lucia. I don't know if it's some part in Grenada, but apparently the risk of the 80 million is not on one commercial bank in Grenada. It is on apparently 3 commercial banks. And the problem is, because I was listening to the kind of a debate in that the opposition was saying that how some of the banks in St. Lucia and some of the OECS did not want to take on the risk. But it's only 3 banks that share the $80 million. I don't know if it's 2 in St. Lucia or 1 in Grenada, but it's not the 80 million is not in Grenada alone. It's a shared risk for the 20 million of each. And people was wondering, well, what is this $80 million for? Because nobody can give account for what they just say what it's all about, and how would it be paid back? And people have been asking questions, but the risk of the 80 million, I understand, I could be corrected, is shared among 3 banks of the OECS. One of them is in Grenada.
All right, Carla, but if you understood and you listened, I said commercial institutions.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't say bank what you're saying. I say commercial.
Yeah.
And the question is it a fact? Mm-hmm. Is it true? What are the terms and reference? The people ought to know.
Right.
Because if you run in an entity for the people, mm-hmm. and you make any decision that could affect the people adversely down the road, they ought to know.
Because
we all must know.
Because let me tell you that in St. Lucia, it's the same thing. Because when I listen to the news, the St. Lucia people have a problem also. They are questioning it, if I can get it right, and they're not getting the answers. And I'm worried because I have shares in most of the banks in Grenada. I have shares in Grenada, Corporate Bank, and so on. And I was wondering why, how it is that who gives the authority for if that is shared, it has to be over 20-something million for these banks. So and how could the directors authorize that? It is a fact that the OECS right now is very liquid, and the loans, they're not getting a lot of loans, so they need loans, but I still find that it's a bit high, and I'm really, really concerned.
And he's a bank person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So right now, I know for a fact that the OECS is liquid. They have a lot of money, and they're not lending out a lot of people not coming up with viable projects so that they're able to lend them. But I still find that exposure, 80 million for the 3 banks, I, as somebody who worked in a bank, as a former banker, I question that. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not really happy because I still need to know. I don't know much people paying lottery all this amount of money that they be able to service that loan of $80 million. And let me just tell all you, right now the EC dollar is very strong. We are trading against the US dollar. They have 96% reserves. The benchmark for the EC dollar is for reserves is 60%. When we have 96% reserves, very solid. And I don't want anybody with some reckless borrowings to cause any financial instability among the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, of which Grenada is a part of. And we have to make sure and ensure that the customers' deposits are protected, and that we lend loans to people that are responsible, and that we see a viable project, and that the people are able to pay back for it. And quite frankly, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm seeing on a preliminary basis, I am not particularly happy with this $80 million. So
all right, Cora, thanks for your contribution.
Right.
She seems to have a handle of the banking situation.
Yes, very much so. I would say though, NNP as an organization is a strong, untouched institution. Because over the last 40 years, the NNP has been dominating politics, right, within Grenada. NNP has a foundation. As years go by, time to time, you will find all sorts of things happening within the organization that will give it spotlight. And in this case, the whole question of where does the party go from here, I think the party is in a very strong position, in my view, right, to moving forward. We do not have a leadership issue. There is a political leader, right? And the members of the party, we are strong. We are going through organizational levels right now, ensuring that moving forward, that we become stronger, right? So as NNPI, we have no fear in terms of what we need to do and where we are going. We have a caller. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, how are you?
All right, my friend.
Members of the past panel, good evening. I live in the location of Los St. David. I believe I get in 91.5, very low, so you're all going to locate and see what happens.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Yes, you know, and
Our next call on the WhatsApp.
yes.
Let's take it.
Good afternoon and welcome.
I want to say still, I again congratulate the New National Party for being so long in office, and it's because of good leadership what caused that party. It's not an easy milestone for a party to survive for 40 years. Even the NDC try, but they cannot make it. They're going to agree with you. This party have no problem. I am a CAD bearing member. Most of the people who are making comments, not even a member of the executive. They're not a member. They're just saying things while so I want people to turn a blind eyes to most of what they're saying. The NNP order, and they had a very good press conference chatting the way forward, and everything will be all right. There's a lot of propaganda is spreading, just to distract. Master Colon, congratulations again, is bringing back some of the tapes or play all this, so Grenadians' mind will be refreshed like it's tomorrow, and we don't want to go and sleep with that. They want us to kill it because they know the amount of mistakes they make, fundamental error they make in the beginnings of the term. They want it to stay there. I'm glad that every now and then your program refreshing the minds of the Grenadian public of what this administration has been doing. So keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. We are live this evening in Mountain.
Yeah, well, I wonder how you don't see that.
Yeah, I find it taking long to talk. How the place looking?
Well, the people just not coming out because like people don't like to come in things very, very.
What you was raining too?
Because we had a little shower which we happy for. Yeah. So, but,
all right.
Okay.
But Devon, one must never forget that our political system here is based on the Westminster style.
It is.
First past the post who has more. So the politics here is not about proportional representation. Like in South Africa, election based on how much votes you get that amount of seats in parliament. So the party run, and based on, like I think 30,000 vote for a seat. So it depends how much seat you get. Here now is first past the post.
Yeah.
So it becomes multiplication and addition. Anytime you embark on subtraction is a problem. One must understand that. Because the Westminster style is not proportion. NDC get maybe 30,000 votes last election. NNP get 28,000, where NDC get 9 seats. If it was proportion, it'd be closer. But it's first past the post. So one must never forget it's about multiplication and addition and not subtraction.
We don't write down them names. They don't even find front.
I want to the wise.
I think 500 people are main problem.
Numbers game.
So one must never forget. No, Devon.
I have something to share before I forget. Chatters on the street, has communicated with me, letting me know to be aware, keep my eyes open about the housing situation in our country, the corruption that is going on in the housing authority, right? And I've decided to put the Mako knob on, turn it up, and do some investigation myself, because what I've found out so far is that there are persons, and what I'm saying here is facts. I have receipt for them. There are persons who do not need a house, who do not need material, lumber, but they have a whole house underneath a house. And that is facts. How did they obtain that? God knows. Because they are living in a house. The house may need perhaps a little repair, a sheet of ply, perhaps, whatever. They have an upstairs and downstairs, and they have an entire house below the house given to them by the Housing Authority, by the Ministry of Housing. And they have strong support of NDC.
They are relatives of MPs.
You understand?
Yes, I said it.
Yeah.
They are relatives of MPs.
And there are persons now.
I said it.
Who have been there.
Come for me.
Waiting for assistance.
Type again on the thing.
For assistance in the housing program.
Let us send message again.
And they can't get material. In some cases, they are being shortchanged.
Let us send message again.
What is going on with the Ministry of Housing and the whole question of the repair program and the housing program? Right? We have seen what this government has done already. Take away the free houses given by the Chinese government and people and selling it.
Nepotism.
Selling it to Grenadians who can afford. So what about those who cannot afford? Who the houses was destined for in the first place? But I'll let you know that I'll have my eyes and ears open right around this country when it comes to the corruption that is going on in housing. And I'm putting you all on notice. Right? I am going to look for the information, seek it out, and bring it to the Grenadian people. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my friend.
I heard you talking about the housing program now in the South. And I have a little fact. A good friend of mine, she said, watch, I get material twice and look at building a shop, you know. In the South and in Hobbards, in Granans. I have a friend that works there. She said every day, you know, people from the South, you know, just coming for material. Some of them don't even come with a bill head. And they're saying they send them. So it is true. It is true that they have house and they have a lot of material. It have somebody that's selling even windows and doors. And it's a fact. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the information.
Nepotism.
You know, and it's a serious concern. I also want to find out if it was a practice before by the previous government or it is just a practice now. I'm understanding that the persons who receive assistance, right, for housing and so, every month they have to pay a stipend. They have to pay every month.
Who they paying it to?
Okay. I understand. You have some people passing around with book and so putting your name and see how much you pay and everything. I don't know where the money going. I don't know how much they collecting, who collecting it, but the persons who get the thing, they have to pay. And I receipt for that. So it's disturbing and it's disgusting as to what is going on with the whole question of housing in this country. You take away the free houses that was put there for the people who need it. Now, the housing assistance, the program that is there for people. And so, corruption is going on. You giving your party supporters house upon house. You understand? Material moving from one place to another. And so, some people who supposed to get 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom only getting 1 bedroom.
We have to go and try and get a little thing.
That is disgusting.
Look at me now, host of the host of the host.
No, it's a serious thing that is going on, and people they don't want to talk about it, but I will talk about it when I have the facts.
Yes. Let's take the call.
Good afternoon.
When?
Yes, good afternoon, my dear.
Tell them what's going on, they know. They don't tell him the business people don't tell in the people and them nothing. But I bet you when Dr. Mitchell come back, everybody going to be on Dr. Mitchell back for the government now to pay back this bill on them. That what going on there, you know. Giving free. Who is the good Samaritan not paying for that free? That what going on there now, you know. When they should give in the people and them the houses, what the government build for them, they don't give in them. They making a money on it, and they taking the material from the numbers and giving them free, but that coming back and haunt you after the next government coming in.
They don't care.
So you have to, everybody have to stand up and stamp their foot, and don't let this thing go on. We have to stop that now. Don't you give somebody need, you don't give somebody want. It can't work that way. Have a blessed afternoon.
All right. Have a blessed afternoon. I cannot understand. You have a housing program, repair program going on where you're distributing material, you're giving estimates and so for people to get material and so. And the persons that in charge of these programs have no idea of how to put together materials, how to give estimates and everything like that. So you see where the problem is? When an estimate is supposed to be given for 20 sheets of ply or 20 bags of cement, you will find an estimate for 30 and 40 bags of cement, 3 loads of sand and everything like that. And when that is put on the ground and the house, quote unquote, is completed, the rest of the material is being transferred to Master Carl.
House after house after house. You go hear something from me.
It's a disturbing situation going on in our
sleep
country.
on me home, man.
The Congress commits to regularizing the status of contract workers who are working for the government and Imani workers who are working for the government within 12 months of assuming office.
Play that again, man. And you want why Dennis?
The Congress
set it up.
Commits to regularizing the status of contract workers who are working for the government and Imani workers who are working for the government within 12 months of assuming office.
2 years going now, and has that ever happened?
And NDC government will put an end to contract workers in the public service as soon as it takes office.
Yeah!
There is no need for a parallel public service in Grenada. All workers will be given permanent status.
Nuggets, don't go down there.
Almost 2 years, and this government cannot deliver anything to the quote-unquote contract workers. As a matter of fact, within the last 2 years, there have almost been more contracts signed by this present government than any other government, right? That introduced that.
I want people to understand what's going on, because it's them we see.
I mean, how can you do that? Fix a problem and you're creating more on that problem.
Ready, fight?
Yeah. They say relatives of board members getting house.
Yes.
I'm happy that any loans, if affordable, is made available to citizens of Grenada. The issue is not whether that's not the issue. The issue is you've placed a large group of Grenadian workers on contract. You've placed them in a position where they are unable to borrow through the normal financial institutions by putting them in a position where they do not have sustainable or sustained employment. And what that means is that you've made them vulnerable. You've put them in a position where you now have to try and create a special lending scheme for them to borrow. And I'm saying even the special lending scheme that you've created, most of them are not going to qualify for the loan. And they're not going to qualify because you've already placed them in a position to disqualify them. Because they would not have acquired land. They would not have life insurance because they're working on 6 months or 12-month contracts. And if they're working, and if the jobs they are doing are permanent jobs, jobs that are normal customer requirements for the government, they should be indefinite employees or permanent employees. They should not be on contract work. And if they're not on contract work, they will be able to take part, like the rest of the persons who are on permanent jobs, in the normal banking and financial and the credit union systems in Grenada. And that is how you create wealth.
Absolutely.
That is how you sustain and raise your standard of living. That is how you're able to save money. That is how you acquire a home or acquire a piece of land, or you're able to start a small business on the side. But when you put people on contract work, and when there is no need to do so, then you are putting them in a vulnerable position, and you are doing so deliberately. And so the question you have to ask is, why are you doing so?
Yep.
And in my view, you are doing so because you want to have the ability to fire them at will. So you want to create job insecurity because you want to be able to manipulate them for your own ulterior reasons.
Right.
Right? So let's make this clear. For those contract workers who are able to qualify for that GDB loan, I'm happy for them. But a significant number of them will not be able to qualify.
Right.
And the question is, when they don't qualify, what happens to them? They remain on contract work. So what has to be addressed is the fact that the government has to end this contract work, absorb the employees because they are doing jobs that are normal, customary, and required. Let's take, for example, a cook in a school. If you have a school feeding program, that job is required indefinitely. There is no reason to put a cook on a contract work.
Right.
And remember, when you put her on contract work, she has no pension. She has no chance of getting health insurance. She has no chance of buying life insurance because the incomes are very low.
Yep.
Right? And if you go to buy these things, they will say to you, well, we have no guarantee that you will have a job 6 months from now or 12 months from now. And so no one wants to deal with you from a financial perspective when you're in that position.
Right.
And I'm saying the job of the citizens, of the government, is to fight for its citizens, to protect its citizens, to encourage its citizens to be independent, not dependent,
Right.
not vulnerable. So that is the challenge we face. And I'm saying it is solvable by the stroke of a pen.
Yep.
And let me make this further point. It is actually illegal. The Employment Act clearly says that you cannot put someone on a fixed term contract, meaning these short term contracts, when the position they are filling is an indefinite one. So the government itself is breaking the law. The government itself is being lawless. So I'm saying in those circumstances, they should in fact end the contract work, regularize the status of the employees, and any other incentives that should be offered to them to make up for the period that they've been on contract jobs, in fact, should be given to them.
This
So you heard the Prime Minister. First, he said contract work is illegal. Then he went on to deceive the Grenadian public and tell them as soon as then he say, and the Prime Minister say, within 12 months he will fix this thing. You check your phone and say, and line up. So, Devon, let me hear you on this thing.
Well, I want to ask a question to the Prime Minister and his government. Since taking office, how many workers that you, as a government, has made permanent? Workers that you hired and you make them permanent. Not workers that were there and you regularize them. Tell us, in 2 years, how many Grenadian people, workers, that you have made permanent?
And if you made any workers permanent,
How much?
what is their relationship to members of this present government?
How much?
Or the party?
And if there's a friend, if there's a colleague, or just a relative?
Yeah. Tell
Where
us. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Master Carl and your crew. How are you doing?
Okay.
Yes. Now, if you listen to the Prime Minister carefully, he talk about people on contract. The job is not guaranteed, so they might not get loan in various places.
You say GDB.
Now, the ministers who is ministers now, is their job guaranteed for the next 5 years that they could get 1 point something?
No, they're on contract.
Okay, listen carefully again. By saying, listen very, very carefully. If you notice, all the people that he's putting on contract, it's retirees.
Those who singing, those who singing in the same hymn sheet.
So he does not have that problem in the sense of that he's putting somebody who still have the room of outgoing. So he could fire the retirees anytime they already retired. Listen carefully. Don't just, he's just talking. The guy is very, very sensitive of everything that he's doing.
And the retirees has to be sympathetic to the government. Not any retiree are getting nothing.
You understand? So listen carefully. Anyway, I'll listen to you guys. Take care.
But listen to that clip and you will hear how, because we said they were inexperienced. We said they're too arrogant. And we see they don't have institutional knowledge and people say, oh, give them a chance, they just come. But hear him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that any loans, if affordable, is made available to citizens of Grenada. The issue is not whether that's not the issue. The issue is you've placed a large group of Grenadian workers on contract.
Wrong one, you play the right one.
In fact, the functional review recommends that the government is hiring too many people, and I'm assuming we can't sustain it. That it means we need to have that conversation, because we will then have to find a way to ensure that you do not go ahead continue increasing the size of the workforce beyond something that is sustainable. But I think we would first need to get the functional review, and particularly because you have these several modes of engagement right now, get a sense of where the bloating is. If the functional review comes back and says that we have a workforce that is larger than the needs of the government. But we really have to await that to be able to have a definitive answer to.
So, Mr. Prime Minister, how you plan to deal with your promise of 1 year, 12 months making people permanent and supporting what Mr. Dennis Cornwall said? As soon as, and supporting what you say, this could be fixed, it is solvable by the stroke of a pen. Play the clip, Igor.
You don't care.
Nah, your business.
You don't care. 1 year gone already, you know. Brilliant, forget that.
You got the clip you just playing?
Yeah. Just takes a little while.
In fact, the functional review recommends that the government is hiring too many people, and I'm assuming we can't sustain it. That it means we need to have that conversation, because we will then have to find.
Stop that clip right. So, when Dr. Keith Mitchell and the NNP said this gimmick about making people permanent, the government cannot sustain it, they say Keith Mitchell don't like people.
They even say he lie.
So they vote for Deacon Mitchell, and look at Deacon Mitchell. Start the clip again, because I want them to hear what he's saying.
In fact, the functional review recommends that the government is hiring too many people, and I'm assuming.
He said that the government is hiring too much people, but he said you'll make everybody and go on with it again.
That it means we need to have that conversation, because we will then have to find a way to ensure that you do not go ahead continue increasing the size of the workforce beyond something that is sustainable. But I think we will first need to.
You hear the word now, sustainable again? So, when Dennis Cornwall and Deacon Mitchell tell the people, when Dennis say as soon as, and Deacon say it could be fixed by the stroke of a pen, and then he say as soon as in 12 months time, they mislead the people.
Claude told us that, you know.
And for that, the people have to vote all these guys on them anytime election call.
Yeah.
If it's one thing they have to vote them out for, is that, you know. Because they deceived the Grenadian public. Play the clip again, because all people here.
Continue or start over?
Start over, because all people here.
In fact, the functional review recommends that the government is hiring too many people, and I'm assuming we can't sustain it. That it means we need to have that conversation, because we will then have to find a way to ensure that you do not go ahead continue increasing the size of the workforce beyond something that is sustainable. But I think we would first need to get the functional review, and particularly because you have these several modes of engagement right now, get a sense of where the bloating is. If the functional review comes back and says that we have a workforce that is larger than the needs of the government. But we really have to await that to be able to have a definitive answer to.
All right, you have a call?
Yeah, we lost it.
Gates. Gates. Man City do all the work.
Yeah.
4 in a row.
I was watching it before I come up.
Man City do all the work, boy.
I don't know what Chelsea J.
Phil Foden and them do all the work.
Yeah, well, they mash us up. Yeah.
Arsenal have to wait another year.
When?
I see.
Are we getting some new players next year again? So Radang. Yeah, Devon.
We have a call.
Let me take it.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Wow, we'll lose it.
Yeah, Devon. The National Democratic Congress is making a mockery of the Grenadian public. You like it?
Hello.
Devon. Boss.
Good day.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
We'll start to
You see Deacon Mitchell and this contract workers? I call on Deacon Mitchell. Don't regulate nobody again. Until you change the constitution or you form your own thing. Don't regulate nobody again until you do that. And if you don't do that, I call on the NNP when they come in power to legalize us, to make them people permanent. Make them permanent. I call on the NNP to do that when they come in power, make the 4,000 people permanent. So I call on the can not to make nobody permanent again.
You know a fella sing a song, she shame.
So why he lied?
Why a change of heart?
Why he lied?
But
Nick
Mitchell never say you make everybody permanent. Is Deacon what say that? Play the clip and make it for him.
Oh, let me deal with him now before you go.
That was his intention. Well, keep me there, go make them permanent. Don't worry.
But your Prime Minister what say that?
But your Prime Minister what say that, you know?
Well, he can't do it.
So why he say it? So why he say it? He lie. But he lie.
He lie?
Yes, he did.
Why could lie when he make a promise?
The man said 1 year he will do it. He lied to the Greenland. Okay, so if he don't lie, why you don't come back to the Greenland people and say, look, based on statistics and what, we can't do it and what? He can't, shame, because he lie and deceive the people of Grenada.
The intention is to make a new thing to put them permanent on.
But what it is, 2 years now and you have nothing.
They spent 9 years without constitution, without permanent. 9 years. 9.4 years without permanent.
Stop it.
Permanent.
Stop it. Don't go down that rabbit hole. The issue is Deacon Mitchell say he had Dennis Cornwall. As soon as they come, don't go back out 9 years. Stay here. Stand up there and feel the weight of the revenue.
Stand up here. Don't go back 9 years.
I can't Deacon Mitchell not to do it. When the people going for us, they will do it.
Aye.
So why you calling on him not to do it and he make the promise?
When he make the promise?
So you're admitting to us on air that your Prime Minister is a big old liar.
Yeah, he can't do it.
He's a big old liar. He and all of his ministers, they are liars.
So you can't call a liar.
You can do what?
You can't call.
But don't bring Christ in this kind of thing. Don't bring Christ in that.
Christ promised the people that he will become.
Christ promised the people?
I don't follow you in this blasphemy. No, you want to blaspheme.
Yeah, you're getting on just like the Zionists and them, you know. And them Israelis
I never hear such.
Utter nonsense.
Not utter nonsense.
Rubbish.
No. Stop jackassing the thing. The man say in 1 year. Then he say as soon as. He say with the stroke of a pen. Now he telling the people about functional review.
You have to wait
and he will bloat the public service and it was sustainable, and that is the same thing Dr. Keith Mitchell and the NNP was saying.
I have something to tell them too.
We didn't listen.
Yeah, I have to tell them.
Say, put everybody, put all the money on the permanent stuff. Put all nurses on the permanent. Put all, everybody. Just put them because you're wicked if you don't do it. Yes. Go in government. Go into government and do that and find out who is going to support you. Go. Then you will find out and they'll say, I didn't understand and I did not know. That's why you have to come in to a training school first and learn before you become the Hefe.
What are you doing?
Got to learn.
Prime
Minister. That again.
Got to learn.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell is a liar.
No. Hold it down. To the last caller. tell Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell about that clip there now. That clip is for you. And only you.
Let me give him.
Say, put everybody, put all the money on the permanent staff. Put all nurses on the permanent. Put all, everybody. Just put them because you're wicked if you don't do it. Yes. Go in government. Go into government and do that and find out who's going to support you. Go. Then you will find out and they'll say, I didn't understand and I did not know. That's why you have to come in to a training school first and learn before you become the hippie.
That's why we go tie the truth on them with younger till they scratch them. Yeah.
Blister up all the skin.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Bopey, get it?
He squeak.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
I think I have our next one.
Hello.
I really didn't want, I had no intention of calling back, but I can't imagine that people be such a a-hole. Because what you played, it is clear as crystal. To me, that is a lie. So I can't understand this person in defending the indefensible. I listened to the whole clip. Contract work is this, is illegal, is violation of the laws of the land. Condemning the previous government. And as you turn around and do the same thing, and when you play the clip that is clear as crystal, I think that guy is probably ashamed that the leader of this country lied. That's a blatant lie. You deceive the people. All this thing, come on, my friend, in Grenville. I mean, you're so stupid. You are a real a-hole. Come on, man. I can't believe that I'm hearing this thing on a radio station that I have to sit down and call back and chastise you when this thing is clear as crystal. And well, know about review. How you didn't know about review all this time? As a matter of fact, I hear it now because when you talk about contract work, there was no criteria. But now I'm hearing about you have to have criteria. Now I hear you, it was supposed to be unconditional. How all of a sudden you put it on condition? You have to be qualified. You have to be this and all kind of a rigmarole. You didn't say that on the campaign, and that's one of the main reasons why you win the election. You know, the election was really won on the basis of the pension, the retroactive payment. Also, yeah, that's a fact.
Lies.
And also, hold on the contract work. That was the main two things, because the thing about it, all how they're talking about Keith Mitchell is a person that the people vote for Keith Mitchell. Personally, he's the powerhouse party. But in NDC, the Deacon is not no powerhouse. The people vote for the party as against Keith Mitchell. People know the man. So they vote, and the NDC voting, people got elected on issues. And one of the two of the main issues was the pension failure, that they say that Keith Mitchell didn't give a date to pay the pension, and also the regularization of contract workers based on what was said on the campaign by what Cornwall and what you all play today. So I can't understand how this person could be such a whatever name I don't want to call it on the to defend the indefensible. If the gentleman lie, my goodness me, he's lying. That's all I have to say. Come on, man, stop making a fool of yourself on a public station when everybody's hearing. Come on, man, do better than that.
Take care. Some of us always we don't like to use the word lie. You know, when persons are blatant about it. But if the Prime Minister in his utterances and his other ministers lied bold-facedly to the Grenadian people, you have to expose them. And that is what we're doing. We are playing the clips with their own mouths, their voices, where they deceive the Grenadian people to get into office. Right? That is inexcusable. Right? You promise the people, the workers of this country, to make them permanent as soon as 1 year. We're going on 2 years now, and all you've been doing is adding on more to the contract worker staff. I mean, how stupid is that? And some of us just sit down and just taking that for granted when you have a group of vultures continue to lie lie first and everything like that, and you feel it's okay. That is not okay.
Anthony Toe.
Yeah, that is not okay.
He on rock.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, man.
Bro.
Well, first time in history I see Grenada have a mad prime minister.
Yeah.
That man sick, that man mad. Something wrong with him. Something wrong with him, he mad. We have to check him very carefully. Okay.
What are you doing? He a certified liar and loser. L and L.
The Prime Minister in his own deliberation say contract work, he could deliver code.
Yeah.
He say it is solvable by the stroke of a pen. They are his words.
Not mine.
He say in 12 months. But the man that surprised me most is Mr. Dennis Cornwall. Because he worked in the Ministry of Finance.
Yes, for years.
His strong suit is about the economy and finance. And he know, based on what persons in the government service, Devon, the economy is not strong enough to make everybody permanent. He
knows that.
So when this caller calling and talk this utter nonsense, this gibberish, I mean, at times I was thinking, but today heat all time low.
Yeah, heat all time.
Let me take the call.
He couldn't help it.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I want to talk about the Chinese houses. I want Delma Thomas to give us some information as to what was said and what was done to the houses before the election. And then I want the people in the housing authority to explain to me how they come by $55,000 and $73,000 for one of the houses that the Chinese gave for free to Grenada. If they cannot give us a clear explanation, then give the Chinese back the houses, or else Haiti style. Hello?
Yes,
yeah, we're listening.
Haiti style.
You want me to answer?
Yes, I need answers, man. I need answers from who have the answers.
All right, caller.
Okay.
You know, it's amazing that we have to continue going through all these things, right? What a group of quote-unquote so-called politicians, you understand, have uttered for the Grenadian people, lied to them. Now we have to try to make it right.
Mm-hmm.
We have to come here and find the correct information and serve our people, give them the information that is correct.
Yeah, great.
Receipts. Connection.
Housing is a major issue throughout the length and breadth of Grenada.
Poor housing.
Save for the housing provided by our dear friends from China, our government has not pursued the systematic building and creating of communities for our citizens. The National Democratic Congress will ensure that the Housing Authority is not just a contractor, but that the Housing Authority does what it was meant to do, which is to provide affordable housing for all of our citizens of Grenada, and to ensure that we give our public servants, our farmers, our hotel workers the opportunity to own their home, so that the pride and joy that comes from that is restored to them. We cannot afford to make our citizens unable to purchase land and to acquire a home in Grenada. It is therefore absolutely essential, and in particular in St. David, to ensure that we put in place zoning laws that will ensure that the price of land does not rise to a point where our citizens cannot afford to purchase a home or to purchase a lot of land.
How much for
So the man then
how much for our complex right now?
So the man then in office 23 months, and what has the housing authority done? That is not my words, that's his.
I can tell you what they did.
What they do?
They stole the houses from the most vulnerable of our people and give it to persons, right, who can't afford housing on their own.
Oh.
They stole the houses away from the most vulnerable of our people. That's a crime. That is what the housing authority, right, and this government has done to the people of Grenada. They take away the bread from the baby. They take away the milk from the baby.
Somebody want to know where is the representative for St. John's Eagle?
Ooh, missing in action.
Stylish?
I don't know. They ask where is the representative.
Those call Miss Stylish.
Missing,
She not time for golf, people.
missing in action.
She not time for golf right now. I just think
There's a clip from the police we played Friday. The King Jacob brother.
Right, yeah.
Jacob play that clip from. I want to talk to them on that.
Jacob brother.
Jacob brother. He's up here.
Yeah, easy. Hold on. Do they fire?
We do not believe that these incidents translate to a significant increased risk to the general population. We urge you, therefore, not to panic. Our intelligence suggests that these incidents are not random acts, but rather well calculated, with targets pre-selected, most having a connection to organized crime.
So you don't find what a Polish reading is like first time you reading that.
Yeah, and
because his eyes is closing.
Not only that. First time you reading that. And what intelligence does he have to say is person's targeting? And if he have that intelligence,
solve the crime.
if police are to protect and solve, how come he protect those who are dead?
Yeah.
Because he say he have intelligence.
He said that.
That is his words. Mr. Pierre, don't let them use you and make you look stupid.
At all.
Yeah, because he looked like he was...
Stop that. Don't let these people and them use you and make you look stupid. And to save face for the Minister of National Security because he don't what he solved.
At all.
You see, that had nothing to do with him. I don't know why you're trying to make him look good.
And Mr. Pierre, take your retirement with grace. Don't go and muddy up yourself.
And go on your leave.
Go on your leave and take your retirement. You have the age. You understand?
That is true.
You are a professional police officer. Mind you, do not continue to make excuses for this lumpen and them that is in office. You are a professional police officer.
But Devon, what is interesting, if the police know, and the police have intelligence, so they know who the people are them targeting. So what is there stopping? Let me take them at their own argument, which we know is not true, but let me just take them at their own argument. So if they, who next is the question, because you have intelligence.
Tell us. Stop the next attack.
And what if a police is next? What you gonna do? You go tell the police don't worry and the family? So this weak, I don't know.
Boss, don't get yourself involved.
Mr. Pierre, that statement you make there is not comforting. It make people more afraid. Because if you speak into organized crime worse than random shooting.
And Mr. Pierre, I know you.
I know see you have intelligence.
Yeah.
Isa. Let them men do the dirty work for themselves.
I know you. You're educated. You're brilliant. You're a professional. Don't fall for this trap. They're looking for a skateboard. What? They're looking for somebody they could blame. Another police officer that they could throw under the bus. Right? So far, you had a wonderful police career. Take your retirement and relax yourself. Do not be an apologist for these political stooges. Don't. pull yourself down. Right? You have persons depending on you, your leadership, Mr. Pierre. You have persons depending on you. Don't put yourself in a position where you have to continue apologizing for politicians who don't want a grain of salt. Don't do that, sir. And as we on the police, I saw an incident making a wrong on social media and so on. I'm sort of disappointed with some of the things that I saw, all right, in terms of how a police officer handled a civilian. And I think, young officer, I think you should, I
seen it too.
Think of your actions, right? And so, because I will only say one thing to you, right? Would you like someone to do what you did to that lady? Do your mother that? I'm looking at it that, is despicable, right? For a young man to treat a woman like that, right? I'm telling you, would you like to see someone do your sister or your mother that? Right? And God forbid that your mother should be looking at that. You know what should be the first thing that she should do when you step in that house? Is to give you a slap and tell you, what is wrong with you? Would you like someone to treat me like that? That's all I have to say about that. That's a word to the wise.
What are you doing?
Let's take a short break.
Yes, sir.
Tell me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, ear to ear. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over, they unleash their lawyer. Set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley, but they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need more close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people. The country taking a beating, so maybe I repeating. Go. They're like a natural disaster now. 10 times worse than Ebola, like a dog with fleas and tongue on their knees. And I'm begging. Now we and I did one week. From the side to the country, streams turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing. Now this is my humble petition. Announce the date for election. Go now, please. Accidental, detrimental, could be lethal. Are you willing to take that chance? Much too seedy, they too greedy, eyes too beady. Honeymoon end before the romance. We expect corruption, but now without check or interruption. That a few might stuff the pocket, but not racket by the pocket. From the constant comments, we get no recess. Before things fall apart and the riot starts. Even in chutney, I'll tell them go. Sooner than later, to protect the future, please, for the sake of the children and the next generation. Go to safeguard our image before Griffith cause more damage, like a dog with fleas and tongue on the knees. And I'm begging, go now. They try to stick me with rage me. They have more trick than Houdini. Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing. Go now. Mrs. Kamla, take Munila and Sharma, go now, please. Them and their minions, total villains, raking millions. Their slogan, we shall rise, it was so true. Tell John Public not to panic while them and they sidekick. Swimming in a pool of dollars so blue. Like meat eating vulture, they neglect agriculture. Mega fans of phony, Mama Guy Caroni, Sweet Man Glenn and Sharma came face to face with the karma. And it was awful, but through it to pull. Don't need a big mouth to tell them go. Watch her and see they just follow now. Before we regret tomorrow, please. You're setting a bad example. Family values they trample. Go. It's only vice they desire. Now. Before the 5 years expire, like a dog with fleas, a dog on its knees. And a bleeding gold now. Before we end in bankruptcy. Before they empty the treasury, streams turn into rivers, then into seas. It's why I'm bleeding gold now. Immediately. And don't forget your AG go. Now, please.
The people want to know, Devon, where is Mr. Telesford? What is the real reason he's out?
Yeah.
The people need to know.
Pressure.
I'm not been hearing about the Minister of Health for a while in truth.
But the people ask a pertinent question. Why is Andy Williams acting as the Minister of Health?
But I thought he was the Prime Minister.
He's acting, yes. That means that the Minister of Health is either in or capacity.
No, they say he out for a month. We want to know why he out for the month.
Yeah. Some say it's vacation.
But why was not Miss Thomas let hold the reins for the month?
Because she's in the ministry associated with health. Well, as they say, Andy Williams is the go-to man. The Prime Minister trusts nobody else, right, as a substitute to him, not to anybody else. But Andy Williams is the one that he trusted. Acting Prime Minister been for the last year. You understand? Whenever the Prime Minister leaves. And now he's picking up the portfolios of other ministers when they're out.
So I want to ask Mr. Telesford if we will see $22 million worth of chicken.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that too. St. Patrick's.
Mount Road.
Mount
and
Road.
once you want it, Mr. Telesford, fix the road, finally. Fix it.
Yeah, fix that.
The rain season coming.
Yeah.
They want to need to touch a little bit on the CBI.
The CBI.
In recent times, we've seen articles and a lot of persons who supportive of the National Democratic Congress, GITS, have sent me on social media some article that the Grenada CBI project has become what they call a $1 billion industry. Well, get you some things from Nazim Bok for me. I want persons to understand what Nazim Bok said, that how the NDC felt about.
And we wish to take this opportunity.
Sorry.
Go on.
Today to make it very clear that an NDC administration would put an end to the sale of the Grenadian passport, and we will scrap the NNP CBI program. We will scrap the NNP CBI program. This program,
Ron, you're listening.
as we see it, is not in our best interest in the way that it is being administered. We must make it absolutely clear that as far as we are concerned, the Grenada passport is not a commodity. It's an instrument of national identity. And what must be happening is that our government should be acting as the custodians of our passport, not as the merchants of our passport. It cannot be that in the name of selling our passport, you are doing this without any regard for the concerns with our national reputation, the concerns with our pride as a nation, the concerns with our independence, the safety and security concerns, and the risks that it poses for business persons who wish to use the local commercial banks so as to enter into corresponding banking relationships with others. This, our government must not become, and our country must not become a magnet for criminals and conmen. All right? We should not be in a position where we find ourselves ashamed and embarrassed and worried every day that something terrible is going to happen to us because in whose hands our passport ends up. So we must make it absolutely clear that we will bring this program to an end. We will bring this program to an end. It is unacceptable what is going on, and in spite of all the calls, in spite of all the warnings, in spite of all the statements, in spite of all the risks, this government is simply turning up its nose at the nation. So we wish to express our total disgust with what is going on and make it absolutely clear that we will put a stop to this when we form the government.
Mr. Nazim Bok, where you at? Mr. Nazim Bok, are you a CBI agent?
Based on information.
Mr. Nazim Bok, would you categorize the NDC as a merchant of Grenadian passport? Because that is your words are dealing with here. You know? My opinion and feelings has nothing to do with that. Yeah, only dealing with him yet. Don't wait. Devon, you hear what he say? Mm-hmm. So we want to know if he is a CBI agent presently. And if so, how long has he become an agent? And if so, Mr. Buck, the concerns about crooks and conmans holding our passport, has that vaporized? Igwe?
Is he still mindful of all those what he said?
That melt.
Yeah.
Forget that already.
Come on, again, Igwe.
You want part 2, you want?
Yeah, part 2, man.
He's a custodian.
Coming to you.
Another issue which can impact upon us in a most negative way is the risk that if these passports were to end up in the hands of criminals, those who are involved in terror, those who are involved in international crimes and money laundering, those who are involved in evading international sanctions, if our passport were to end up in the hands of the wrong individuals, we also run the risk that the international banks that are doing business in our country may choose not to do business in our country. And there is a risk that international banks in the United States and in Europe and in Canada, upon which our country depends for correspondent banking relationships in order to do business across the world with Japan and China and other countries, we run the risk that the corresponding relationships with these major international banks can be lost and our business people will not be able to do business around the world.
Mr. Nazimo, deal with that one, Devon.
Well, couple of words I would say about Mr. Buck. He's just a hypocrite. All right, he have fancy words. He talks a lot, and so, but in reality, he's just another one of them, another vulture. All right, because when he stood up in Parliament and made all these comments and so of the CBI program and this sort of thing, he was not mindful that somewhere down the line he would have been an agent, right? And an agent under these circumstances, right? Because you claim that we should be custodians of the Grenadian passport and whatever, but yet for all you are joining an organization, a part of an organization that is selling our passport indiscriminately all over the world, and we don't know who it is being sold to.
Want the picture? We want to see that.
You understand? No, you are an agent, sir. Give us some information. You are an agent selling passports. Something that you said you will never do.
I sat and I often wonder. And I ask myself, is there anything wrong with us here? in Grenada.
Something wrong.
But listening that particular gentleman,
Something wrong.
now I realize why the Grenadian public never accept him. Because they realize he's a fraud.
Yeah, he's a fake man.
Mr. Buck, somebody go tell you, Master Callas, are you a CBI agent presently? I expect to partake in the fried saltfish.
Yeah.
Buck and Buck, are you now categorizing the NDC as a merchant of Grenadian passports?
Which you are a part
Would
of?
you give the Grenadian public the comfort that no crook or no con man would have a passport? Let me go, Igwe.
Have a next one.
Yeah.
Sure.
And when we weigh what is going on, we must do so in the context of the fact that this program, the Passport Citizenship by Investment Program, and the sale of Grenada's passports raises, quite apart from the reputational issues, quite apart from the issues having to do with Grenada's image, its pride, and its reputation as an independent nation, it also raises some very serious questions regarding our safety and security as a nation. We have made the point before that the granting of passports or the sale of passports to foreign nationals without doing the necessary due diligence exposes the country to the risk that one of our passports can end up in the hand of somebody who is unfriendly to our country and who is unfriendly to our friends. The United States of America has a major investment here in Grenada. It is no secret that St. George's University is a major American institution here in Grenada. It is no secret that those who are interested in terrorism, those who are interested in creating terror around the world, consider American institutions, American installations, American assets around the world to be targets for those assaults. It means that Grenada is not immune from any kind of attacks. And the institutions, American institutions and facilities, planes, students, the daily flights of American Airlines, the 3,000 or so students who are here, all of these persons are exposed to risks if we do not do what is necessary to protect ourselves and to ensure that our passports do not end up in the wrong hands.
Yeah, one.
I have a call. You know, you take the call. Bunch again.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, my friend.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good.
I'm getting the station clear today. There's something I wanted to talk about for a while now, a few weeks ago. I was there in a conversation with a guy, a very strong supporter of the NDC party. There came another guy in conversation with us. Well, actually, the guy, he joined in our conversation, but he interjected himself and said something that the public need to hear about as far as I'm concerned. And hear what happened. He came close to the other guy I was talking to and he put him out close to his ears. Like he telling him a secret. But I'm right there with them. With him, I should say. So I hear everything he said. And he said plain and clear to my hearing and the other guy hearing. And to the other guy disturbance too, that we need to get rid of all the NNP policemen in the police force. I'm quoting his words. That's the kind of mentality and attitude that has developed for the past 2 years in this country. The other guy, the guy who he said it to, directly to, said to him, when I hear this kind of a statement, I don't be very worried. I don't be very disturbed. Okay, so he got the message that he's not pleased to hear that. But this is one of the objectives of these guys and them, to control this country. And for example, you have people like Nazi Buck, you have people like Tillman Thomas, You don't hear their voices in criticism of what is going on right now. And that's, especially Nazim Bok, that's one guy I respected as a politician in this country more than any of the others, who used to be opponent or is opponent of Dr. Kit Mitchell. That's the one I respect the most, frankly speaking. I think Nazim Bok could be a very good leader. But he has abdicated that responsibility. So even though the embarrassing clips that you're playing now, how much it will resonate and be accepted by those of his kind of supporters. I won't be surprised that they don't have any objection to it. But you see, it's when the shoe is on the other feet. That's what is showing up there now. And the kind of attitude that we have in this country towards authority, I will not be surprised, or I am not surprised, I should say, that crime is escalating. People's confidence in government has deteriorated a whole lot since that government come into this administration come into office. And the disrespect that you see people are showing to the police nowadays, especially the young people, is not surprising to me. And if there is that mentality and it's going to be perpetuated across the board, where inside of the police force there is NNP supporters and there is NDC supporters, you see what we are heading to? Take care, gentlemen.
All right, my friend.
Mr. Bok, simply this. You speak about safety and security. You speak about US having this SGU. And you give warning. But the US State Department has given this government warning about the passport to the Russians.
Yeah.
Dennis Cornwall said he already had some Russians in the system. But you have a clip there for me with Postwader. Postwader spoke the truth. Postwader spoke the truth.
Yeah, he did. He did spoke the truth. As the people were saying, he did spoke the truth.
It's slow to it.
Yeah.
The program is open to everybody. Whether you are Chinese, whether you are Russian, whether you are African. Passport. The first thing this administration sees is a human being. Passport.
The gentleman spoke the truth.
The program is open to everybody. Whether you are Chinese, whether you are Russian, whether you are African. The first thing this administration sees is a human being.
Well, you know what is interesting with what he said and what Nazim Bok.
I didn't finish with Mr. Bok yet. I'm more on him, because they just want to tell me, oh, he didn't do that thing. I'm more.
Because Mr. Bok, in its sense, right, is basically warning the Grenadian people about the Russians or persons who are not friendly to our friends. Now here we in a situation where you have a major crisis going on in Russia, and a lot of the Russian oligarchs and who have money looking to move out and have a second citizenship or passport, and Grenada is the hub, right? Isn't the Russians and the Americans, quote unquote, not friendly? Aren't the Americans our friends? Right? So we are selling passport, right, to our friend's enemy. I mean, we're trying to make it make sense with what Mr. Bok is saying, because look at what the Persuader have said. Whether you Chinese, you're Russian, you're African, the first thing and the only thing that this government look at is the human being.
The program is open to everybody. Whether you are Chinese, whether you are Russian, whether you are African. The first thing this administration sees is a human being.
I like them.
I need to ask you a question.
They're good. Yes, Mr. Carr.
How many Palestinians are here presently?
But I'm not in a position to...
What are the purpose here? What is the purpose of being here?
CBI. But some of them may have come through the CBI. Some of them are merchants, right? And so, right?
So if we follow the money, we go get it.
Definitely.
So they will help me follow the money because you have an affinity for those people, and so I go lead that one up to you. So when we come back here next Sunday, I want you to tell me about if any money pass. And how much money, if money pass, and if yes, how much? And if so, to how much people? And if so, who receiving it? And if so, who having meetings? And if so, is the US monitoring the meetings? I don't know. I'll leave that homework for you, Devon.
We finish it, Nazim?
No, I just with the passport and thing and all that is passport.
Oh, all that is passport. Okay.
And I want to ask the person in charge of immigration. I know what I'm saying, don't correct me. Let me do my thing for myself.
Immigration.
And passport.
Immigration and passport.
I want to know if any instructions have reached you in reference to Devon friends, the Palestinians. Now, I don't know, and the people tell me to ask that. So I don't know. I'm not the repository of every knowledge. I tell you, I'm like a lighthouse.
And I'm
So Devon go tell us that next Sunday.
Yes. I'm very passionate about the plight of the Palestinians.
Yes, so you go tell us that.
So I will definitely dive into it. Put on my Makunob and everything, and I will dive into it.
I wonder if you hear any of them Palestinians down here from Nablus. Nablus, they say it's the most densely populated area on Earth.
Or Rafah.
They say Nablus, you can walk 1 foot and not meet somebody in Nablus.
Yeah. Per square foot, they very densely populated.
What's that, Haiti?
Yeah, man.
Haiti big than that place by a lot.
Haiti have more thing than them. You understand?
And the population more big than Haiti?
Yeah. Imagine as it is right now, right? Almost 1.5 million people was situated in one area called Rafah, perhaps big as Grenada. And that's just a part of the how they call it, the Gaza Strip. That's one part of the Gaza Strip.
Oh, you reaching down there in that kind of thing and then maybe
follow the money. When we follow the money, we will definitely get the answers that we're looking for.
Come back to Mr. Buck. Are we finishing? Mortal Kombat style.
From the very onset of this program, we expressed our concern that the government had approached the creation of this program and the implementation of this program in an incestuous way, or what appeared to the public's eye to be an incestuous way. We pointed out our concerns at the time that Ms. Anandi Trotman Joseph, the wife of the then President of the Senate, was the chairperson of the Integrity Commission, that Ms. Anandi Trotman Joseph was the wife of Senator Lawrence Joseph, President of the Senate, and at the same time was serving as an agent for the Citizenship by Investment Program. We expressed concern that Ms. Leslie Ann Sion, chairman of the Industrial Development Corporation, the IDC, and wife of Mr. David Holocaust, chairman of the Citizenship by Investment Screening Committee, was also an agent under the CBI program. We pointed out the fact that Ms. Michelle Emmanuel Steele, wife of the Mr. Nicholas Steele, then the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Business, was herself and him at the time being the chief government spokesperson on the Citizenship by Investment Program, was also an agent under the program. We pointed out that Senator Lawrence Joseph himself, then the President of the Senate, was an agent under the Citizenship by Investment Program.
Why? No, you see,
scared at all.
Devon. So where Mr. Buck, well, Mr. Buck, you need to clarify if he is an agent. But here are going on. the Minister of Finance, and the Prime Minister. What our agency with them? Yeah. And then all the rest they talking about what he mentioned, but the Prime Minister says he want to give final approval of every passport.
Of course. And
if an investor comes in and he wants any concession, he has to go to Dennis Cornwall. Mr. Bog don't know them things that them know.
No, he don't know them things now. Because he and his wife is agents.
So he don't know he know all who was agent before and why they shouldn't be agents. Yeah. But he don't say nothing now. Yeah. That's why I tell you, I never understood why the Grenadian public didn't like this fella.
We understand now.
But they knew what I didn't know.
And you talk about incestual relationship, right? He loved that. He loved to talk about that.
But the Prime Minister, Mitchell and Co.
Yeah, Mitchell and Co. And Burke and Burke. You know, and the agents, the ministers that are agents. And so, right? He's not talking about them now because he's now an agent.
No, he partaking in the fried saltfish.
Yeah, the fried saltfish. Take in the saltfish just bun. And when saltfish bun is not a good thing, you know. Okay, right.
Bun saltfish will get shreddy.
Yeah, it might have a taste, you know, but
it's sticking up in your teeth.
Okay, you have problems.
I know what you're talking about. About two saltfish.
I can't tell me why him laid neck. Boom shakalaka after quarantine, man.
The program is open to everybody.
Yes.
Whether you are Chinese, whether you are Russian, whether you are African. The first thing this administration sees is a human being.
Yeah. You don't care if you come from Timbuktu.
Yeah, you don't come from whatever relation you got.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, my dear.
I remember when President Ronald Reagan was in office, and when he sent troops.
Hello. Move from the radio.
Yeah, when he sent troops to Grenada, he said Grenada was told to be a friendly tourism country. So where this country go to now? Where this country go to now? He said we get here just in time. And I remember when he made the statement. I was in my 70s, and I remember when he made that statement. He said we was told that Grenada is a friendly tourism country. So let me think about all the tourists and them. Let me think about all our little country now. Thank you.
The program is open to everybody. Whether you are Chinese, whether you are Russian, whether you are African. The first thing this administration sees is a human being.
You know, I'm based on information coming out, I'm understanding that this CBI program, or what's the other name for it? I can't remember. That this program is grossing close to $1 billion.
So they say, say. But that is not confirmed though.
No, it's grossing. So when it's grossing, they say that's the amount of money that is coming in. But what is Grenada getting out of that amount of money? What is the state of this country getting, the state of Grenada receiving from that? You see, a lot of things is being hidden from the Grenadian people 2 years ago about the CBI program, right?
Investment Migration Agency.
Investment Migration Agency. So you see the name change, right? But the policies and everything with that program, I mean, it's a myth.
The name might change for the level of corruption.
Exactly, and the quantum, the amount of passport that they intend to sell. Because if based on the information that we're hearing, it's correct, I mean, close to $1 billion. That's a lot of Grenadian passport is being sold. You know, that's more than passport. That's more passports is being sold than the population of this country.
Just cool, man.
I mean, what is going on? Just now we will have.
The program is open to everybody. Whether you are Chinese, whether you are Russian, whether you are African. The first thing this administration sees is a human being.
You don't care where you
come. But Pussy didn't lie. He talked the truth. He spoke the truth. Right? By the time end of this year, next year, Grenada's population would be in excess of over 300,000 people.
But outside.
Outside. Yeah, persons who hold our passport. By the end of this year, more than 100,000 persons might be holding our passport. If reports that are coming out are true. What is going on in our country? What are the leaders of our country doing to this beautiful island, tri-island state of ours? They have destroyed the police force. We have no security in our country. They are destroying the public sector using the Public Service Commission, right? I mean, they are just destroying basically everything that was laid down to break.
But Jude don't say that.
Jude won't say that because Jude is a, well, how would I
go easy on him? Go easy on him.
Well, yes, I would go easy on him, but sometimes he gets on like a dummy. Don't know. You understand? He continue, but you know that is the last term. I had teachers waiting for him to, you know. How could you, as the president of a union, come out on a platform and utter such nonsense about this present government is the only government that has done so much or the most amount of things that any other government in the past? How stupid are you, Mr. Jude? I mean, you are a teacher. You teach our students. Even the students know better than that they could tell you in your face, Mr. Jude, you are lying. You are lying with what you just say. Come on, man. I mean, we know you supporting NDC. You make no bones about that. But don't continue to lie for them.
Yeah, you support who you support.
Support who you support. It's your right. It's your constitutional right. Support who you want to support. But it's not your right to continue to lie and deceive. Right? Your quota of workers who support you. I mean, come on, man. That does not make sense. Years from now, you will be sitting perhaps in your rocking chair, listening that said statement you made, and the Lord of mercy, what did I say? How dumb was I at that point in time to make such a statement when you know that was not true? But then again, they say that some of the unions are being bought.
Telling me with that.
I don't know if it's in pounds or US. Right, or Saudi Arabian money.
They moving too clumsy, man.
Or that kind of thing. Or part of that $22 million that was given for the independence celebration. I mean, come on. Mr. Grimes, I respect you as a trade union leader. Make no bones about that. I think you have a passion for workers.
I find it cool.
But boss, let me tell you something. You're in the driver's seat. Stop compromising on your principles when it comes to the workers. Right? I made statement about to blame the union when it comes for what happened to the nurses. Yes, and I make no apology for that. Because if you are a bargaining agent, right, for workers, even if the workers did not come to you with the situation that is happening and you know about it, you have a right to advocate for them and to let the public know that what they are doing is wrong. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. Just a concern. I ain't Antonio too at all. You get a gracious offer or something?
No, you're on rock.
That's a good one.
You're on rock.
You catch me down there. Catch me.
You come first to that one.
Yeah. Catch me.
Antonito.
People saying you get a gracious offer.
Yeah, I wonder, you know, Antonito.
I wonder if they promote you in smart and...
Yeah, what that gracious offer is all about, you know, comrade, you know.
Right.
Just to win an election, and we need to overcome these things. We need to provide services for our people. When you elect someone into office, that person becomes like a trustee for you, and they have to act on your behalf, not for the personal benefits and to victimize people. What we've been seeing in recent times is more victimization. Once they identify you as not supporting a particular political party, they want to deprive you of opportunities. Brothers and sisters, the resources of the country must be used for all the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, irrespective of your political connection.
Tell Deacon
You
that.
don't need to support a political party to get on the seed program. If you fall within the category, you should be a beneficiary. We are saying to you that we do not want to see plenty of people on the seed program because we want people to earn their own living. We want to create opportunities so that you could do your own thing and develop yourselves. So we want to create opportunities.
You know, having listened to Uncle Tilly, that is one of the most bold-faced, straightforward statements he has ever made as a politician. You know,
He sound like a prime minister, yeah?
Yes, and I think he really believed what he was saying.
Yes.
Right? I think he really believed what he was saying.
Yes, I believe so.
And knowing him for a number of years and so.
That's why I always play.
Yeah, that one touched him. But you see, what he didn't realize, that what he was saying would be the exact thing that his government would be doing to people. Discrimination on all fronts, from the seed program, the housing program, right? The workers in the public sector, you keep, doing them all sorts of things, using the Public Service Commission and to demoralize them. Look at what you're doing to the police officers. Talking about there's no succession. And so that was there over the years. The police force has grown to be a professional service over the years.
But here's what happened, Deva.
But 2 years you mash it up.
Deva, here what happened. You see, there are no succession planning. Tough power pay a young man, he will vote him.
Make that for the commission.
And after he vote him, he bring in the one by the pastor, a retiree. The king's son, a retiree. Don Mackenzie, a retiree. So they say mom and them retiring and they bringing them back. So that he answer to succession planning.
Yeah. And now he's trying to use his pay.
So if you don't believe in tough hour pay, you have a fellow what well educated, Winston Jameson, we just call him Mango, Christopher Francis, make him the commissioner.
Yeah.
Because you don't want tough hour pay because he married to a politician. Winston Jameson come from good pedigree.
He could handle it.
Mango,
He could handle
Christopher Francis.
He have what it takes.
He just come out in Guyana recently, so he have
the experience,
some substance,
the know-how.
And I see Mango Friday and say Mango, the next time I go ready, I'll call your name. Because I find they could make you the commissioner because you go do better than Dan Mackenzie.
Oh yes, way better than Dan
You could speak better than Dan Mackenzie and you have more experience because you come through the rank. You didn't spend time in SSU and going in the prison and St. Vincent having all this kind of thing. So, make Christopher Francis. And we train on the same course. So I know your ability. He got the button of honor on Rico, so he's not an ordinary guy.
And you know, I want to appeal to our police officers, and both men and women, to continue to do the job that the state, and the people of Grenada ask you to perform. Continue, do your best. We know that you are trying, to do your best, to be a professional service. And so, despite everything that is going on around you, despite the discrimination, despite the lack of empathy towards you and your situation as officers who have to protect the state, I beg of you, police officers, to do your job with diligence.
And when Bass come back, make sure you don't papi show him too.
Exactly. We have, there is leadership.
You have people who could do the work better than those retirees you have up there. Them retirees are only up there for the pay.
They tired.
You don't tired, they never perform with distinction.
They were never performing, so what tired they tired? Yeah, they getting old. You could tell me that.
And Christopher Francis had training on the airport. He was the security guy there for a long time.
Lot of years.
Unlike the fellas that you have, them retirees and them you have there. They only using the police vehicle as a private vehicles. And they don't do nothing to that.
And you are stationed.
Yeah, they are the police vehicle like a private own.
You are stationed on the vehicle, you know.
That's what they have to do, you know. And if a little police in a station and he have to go out to him and late take him, they tell him he can't get a ride. But they have the police vehicle driving up and down frolicking him. This thing and them have to stop.
Have to stop.
But don't worry, not long. How long? Not long.
Our police women and men, ensure that you go early to the polls. Ensure that you vote for your future. Ensure that you vote for your fellow colleague. Ensure that you vote for improved working conditions. Ensure that you vote for police stations that are deserving of human habitation. Ensure that you vote for police stations that are covered by galvanized and not tarpaulin. Ensure that you vote for police station that gives you a comfortable bed to sleep in. Ensure that you vote for insurance so that when the vehicles you are traveling in meets in an accident, you are covered. Ensure that you vote for the salary scale adjustment that has not taken place since 1995, since this incumbent came into power. Ensure that you vote for your pensions. So police officers, I call upon you to make sure that you vote for a professional police force where you are rewarded, treated with dignity, and where you rise through the ranks based on merit and not based on who you are married to.
He knew all that. He knew all the problems. And he had a remedy for all the maladies. Now he become prime minister, he hiding from the police.
Yeah.
Therefore I think go off, the same time the tide hide the station shaking.
No, that's true.
Therefore I think go off, you promise them internet.
See what are going under the...
You promise them internet, you don't give them. But you know station had tarpaulin on it. But you don't know police van have plastic in the window and in the back. You don't know police station have mold. You don't know you could fall through the floor in Grenville police station. You don't know about the black bug and them in St. David's police station. You forget all that on it.
Yeah, you forget all of that.
All of a sudden, you forget that is the condition. You forget about the pay and grade since 1995. Because he know from since 1995. He forget all that on them. But he ought not to forget them there one because get a clip with Lennox Andrews with their surplus for me. Because Lennox say they are surplus or they have money.
And they spend $5 million to set up a new ministry. A ministry to destabilize Grenadian people. Right? Under Andy Williams. That money could have go to fix up all the police stations and to support our professional police officers.
In fact, Mr. Speaker, I would even go further. From a pure economic point of view and a pure economic analysis point of view to indicate the performance of government. If I had my way, I will introduce a new performance indicator in addition to what is there in the bill. And that one is referred to as the current account balance. And the current account balance is the difference between your current revenues and your current expenditure. And your current revenues are your tax revenues and your non-tax revenues. Yeah? And I've already explained what is your current expenditure. When you subtract your current revenues from the current expenditure, you obtain your current account balance. Mr. Speaker, that current account balance, from our numbers I would have recollected, has always been positive, and it as high as 5% of gross domestic product, which means that we have millions of dollars, which means that the government and our government has been able to collect enough revenue, tax and non-tax, to pay wages and salaries, to pay goods and services, to pay interest payments, and to pay transfer and subsidies, and still have a lot of money left. We call it a surplus. And that surplus could go directly, if you so desire, go directly into meeting your capital needs. Good? It could go directly into meeting your capital needs.
So how come they have all that money and they don't give in the police they pay and grade their van?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
That hatred, that mischief.
But then the priority for them is themselves.
Yeah.
See? Giving themselves 100% raise in salary. That's the priority. Them and their goons. The persons right around them and granting favors to all their supporters in tune of millions of dollars. The priority is not the police officers, right? And they splendid and unwavering work that they does in protecting this country. They don't care about them. Understand? They got the vote already from the police officers, right? They think they have the loyalty of the police officer. Oh my God, treat them good. Return something back to them. You know, no, show them some loyalty. Show them that you care for them, but you have not been doing that. You have been using them to your own like this. To the sense where you bring back as an advisor to the Prime Minister and the police commissioner, an ex-commissioner who what nothing, who has not what the grain of salt, and you have him there together with some Noel guy. I don't know what he coming to.
Kill from my heart, I telling you, black man, all you look for that. Why on earth black man always want that kickstart? Black man, all you look for that.
And if you black man, all you look for that. And if any one of all your sons should cross the Prime Minister's path, yes, black man, all you look for that. So Devon, thanks for the company today. Igwe,
yeah.
You wasn't with me fully today.
No, watch, you see the phone thing? Scotia talking to me, you talking to me, I'm in Devon. The brain doing that?
Igwe,
the man of the hour. But I think we had a
Igwe, don't work. Let me see.
A wonderful program.
Master Carlo rough in the Igwe zoo.
We had a wonderful program.
You go show it our role, we don't vex you.
No, we good.
And thanks for all those who stayed with us, participated, right, and show us love. We will always be here to share information, to give you what this government is not giving you. Peace out.
They be too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent commenter here. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, yes, yeah. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over. They unleash the lawyer, set up